The moment she lowered herself onto my lap, the world seemed to stop breathing, and the sound of the ocean faded into a distant, stunned hush as if even the waves were holding their tongues. My heart slammed against my ribs, my mind raced with confusion and fear, and every instinct told me this single second would change everything I thought I knew about my job, my past, and myself. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of compassion to rewrite broken stories, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so more heart-touching stories like this can reach the people who need them most. My name is Nathan Walker, and at the time this happened, my life felt like a carefully stacked house of cards. I was a project coordinator for a mid-sized marketing firm based in San Diego, California, working under a boss who was known for her steel spine and unshakable authority. Her name was Rebecca Moore, a woman whose presence could silence a room without effort. She was respected, feared, admired, and whispered about in equal measure. I had joined the company 2 years earlier after a painful divorce and a string of financial setbacks that left me rebuilding from scratch. My work mattered to me because it was the one place where I still felt capable, useful, and steady. The company retreat was meant to be a reward, a 3-day break at a coastal resort in Southern California, complete with workshops in the mornings and free afternoons by the beach. I remember feeling uneasy from the start, not because of the ocean or the sun, but because retreats have a way of stripping away professional armor. Titles blur, laughter replaces emails, and people become human in ways that can feel dangerous when you're used to boundaries. Rebecca, however, seemed perfectly composed, walking along the shoreline in casual clothes but still carrying the same commanding energy she had in the boardroom. That afternoon, I had wandered closer to the water, watching families build sandcastles and couples walk hand in hand, thinking about how distant that kind of simple happiness felt to me. I was sitting on a low beach chair, lost in my thoughts, when Rebecca approached. Her face, usually so controlled, looked tight, almost frightened. Before I could process what was happening, she lowered herself onto my lap, her weight grounding and shocking at the same time, her posture rigid as if she were bracing for impact. People nearby laughed and talked, unaware that my entire world had tilted off its axis. I could feel her tension through every muscle, the way someone feels before a storm breaks. Though she didn't speak aloud in that moment, her intent was clear in the way she stared past my shoulder toward the boardwalk. I followed her gaze and saw a man standing there, frozen, his expression sharp with recognition and something darker beneath it. I later learned his name was Thomas Caldwell, her ex-husband, a man who had once shared her life and then shattered it publicly and painfully. He was the last person she expected to see, and the one she least wanted to face. In those few suspended seconds, I understood that this wasn't about impropriety or impulse. It was about survival, about a woman cornered by her past and grasping for the nearest shield. I stayed still, my heart hammering, my thoughts tangled in fear of what this could mean for my career. Yet beneath that fear was something else, a strange protective instinct that surprised me. Rebecca Moore, the woman who never needed anyone, was leaning on me because she had nowhere else to turn. As the minutes stretched on, memories began to surface in my own mind. Echoes of the day my marriage ended and I saw my former spouse across a crowded grocery store, smiling like nothing had ever been broken. I remembered the shame, the urge to disappear, the feeling that the ground beneath me was no longer solid. Sitting there with Rebecca, I realized pain doesn't care about power or position. It finds us all, humbles us all, and demands something in return. Eventually Thomas walked away, his presence dissolving into the crowd. Rebecca rose from my lap without a word, smoothing her clothes, her mask of control sliding back into place with practiced ease. She nodded once, a silent acknowledgement, and walked down the beach alone. For the rest of the retreat, she avoided me, burying herself in meetings and phone calls, and I wondered if I had imagined the vulnerability I'd seen or if it had been real. Back at work, days passed in a strange quiet. I expected consequences, awkwardness, or at least an unspoken tension, but none came. Rebecca treated me as she always had, professional and distant. Yet something subtle had shifted. She began asking for my input more often, listening in a way she hadn't before. When projects grew stressful, she showed patience instead of sharpness. It was as if that moment on the beach had cracked something open inside her, letting light seep into spaces long sealed shut. Weeks later, I learned through office whispers that Rebecca had filed a restraining order against Thomas, finally confronting years of manipulation and emotional harm. She started therapy, took a short leave, and when she returned, there was a softness in her eyes that hadn't been there before. She spoke openly about resilience during a team meeting, not naming names or telling details, but sharing enough to let us know she was human, healing, and determined to change. As for me, I found myself standing taller, not because I had done something heroic, but because I had chosen empathy over fear in a moment that mattered. That choice rippled outward, affecting how I treated others, how I viewed my own scars. I began volunteering at a local community center, mentoring people who were rebuilding their lives after loss. Each story reminded me that strength often shows up quietly in small, unexpected acts of kindness. Near the end of that year, Rebecca called me into her office. There was no tension, only gratitude in the air. She thanked me for my discretion, my support, and my professionalism, and offered me a promotion that recognized not just my work, but my character. I accepted, feeling a deep sense of closure settle over me. The beach, the lap, the frozen moment in time, all of it had led here, to a place of growth neither of us could have predicted. If this story has touched your heart, if it reminded you that compassion can change lives in ways we may never fully see, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel so more stories of hope and healing can continue to be told. Before this story ends, I have one special request for you. Please comment below and share what kindness or second chance has meant in your own life, because your words might be the light someone else is searching for today. Standing now on the other side of that memory, I understand that life doesn't always give us grand gestures or clear victories. Sometimes it gives us a quiet test, a single moment where we can choose to be still, to be kind, and to hold space for another human being in their most vulnerable hour. And sometimes, that is enough to begin a new chapter, not just for them, but for ourselves as well.